I'm gonna level these out a lot more, but they look pretty good for now. Pour the concrete in there when I put the forms up. I use the bricks to push up against the form. So this is day number 2. I put the bricks in there and stuff. I had a whole bunch, so like these orange bricks, I had found these in the ground right here. Like they're like buried, so it's a whole bunch of them. I'm gonna take these, I'm gonna break them up some more, put a whole bunch more in there. So that way I ain't gotta spend so much on concrete. Alright, so this is where we have with the pergola. I built these things, it's just like sheds. They're gonna come up, block off the sun, like this one. Looks pretty cool. Nice pergola build. That's where we at. I built these things, these forms, and I have the shades on there. You just lift them up like this to drop them down. Close this. And you just lock it in. It's gonna be a shade back here. It's gonna block out the sun pretty good. And then bam, bam. There we go. Now it's closed. And then that way you block from the sun. So now you got shade about this far. So yeah, that bad boy right there. That's what all this for. This one right here, they open separately. See how the thing drop in, watch. Drop, it stands up. I'm one of the people who keep forgetting to record, but personally, I don't really care to record. But I just keep getting reminded every like few often to like, man, let me record a little bit of this for memory. Now, I end up putting this side on. I ordered these things from Amazon, these little tarp things. And, let me looking at my feet, bro. So yeah, I ended up putting one on. It looked pretty good. Hold on, let me clean this camera. Look a little better. So I ended up putting this one on. I self-tapped them in there. See, I put self-tappers on them. Yeah, a random hole right there. I was thinking about putting another one like in between, but I see that little crinkle. I was like, nah, never mind. I think it looked pretty good this way. So the table folded down. So the time y'all was gone, I ain't even gonna lie, I did do some extra changes. As you can see, the back has been done as well. It's the other tarp. Unfortunately, I can't find the color. And I'm looking for, I want them to be like a tan color like this, but like this type of tan, which I painted this wood. Same thing I painted the table. But I got an idea. I feel like if I roll paint this with outside paint, that latex, I think it'd be straight. I wish I would never cut that side too. But I had cut this side like an idiot. Forgot, like, bro, I could just undo it like that, like I did this one. But I ended up cutting through it like a dummy, so it is what it is. It's like, no. So I know y'all remember when I showed y'all this table and I told y'all like it's gonna fold and all this stuff. All right, so look. We're gonna lift it up. Snap it on there. Bro, hold on. Let me snap this on. Alright. Let me do this one. I'm gonna go get some nice string to hold that in soon. This one, the one that's spring loaded too. The other one can't be. Alright, so I got these up. Now let's look at my table. Now, before we even look too deep into it, the other side already open, but this folds in and it holds the table down. And then, put your pen in there, even though I need to open that up. You see? So this side do the same thing. It folds up and then snap in place, you feel me? But I ain't about to do all that. All right, so with that being said, let's show the table. We open this, drop that down. Come on this side. Let me move this. Come on this side. Remember our handle. Wait, hold on. Hopefully I ain't forgetting that. This thing folds down. See? Y'all ready? Folds. Click in on both sides. Now you see the table kind of angled. Of course, it's not the sitting angle, which is what these come in handy for. So these, you lift up the table, snap it down. This side, snap it down. Okay, that's our table. Now, when you grilling and stuff, we can sit our stuff on the table. People can sit here, like I'm just leaning on the table. Like, watch this. Lean on it. It's pretty cool. Shade right here. And then imagine when the roof on it, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be really shaded in. Like these shades look like they thin, but you gotta remember when that roof on, it's gonna be it's dark in here. So the roof gonna make a big difference, basically. It's gonna feel more enclosed. But it's another feature. So this thing snap in on both sides, which I got it to be able to do that, but let me show y'all. This side, you just click. Come down here, and I got these off Amazon, these little fence post things. Click. This one a little tighter. Pull it down, let go. Now the table even bigger. Now I made a drop leg in the middle that when you open this up, it falls down, but I ain't got time for that right now. So the table bigger, got more room. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Now this is another feature. So this can go up even higher if somebody want to draw or something, or we want to have a singing choir. You push this up right on the back, and now the table is angled a little bit more for you. You do this side. Damn. Table up. Now you got your angled table for, you know what I'm saying, anything you want to do. You think about it. Now this is another feature. This ain't it. I thought about all this when I was doing this. That's why I made it this way. When you pull this back down and snap both sides in, and you lift this one up, bam. Now you got shade. Shade at the top, bottom. You feel what I'm saying? So it worked both ways, man. I know it looks simple and people man, that ain't complicated to do, but when you building it yourself, I don't know, man. Everybody different, but I just like to make stuff that's pretty cool for me. It ain't for everybody, bro. I designed this myself. I thought of it myself. It's all me. But yeah, man. So when you come over, now when you look on the back, you just got this blank slate. So no sun can get in at the top at all, because or even people can't look in at our sitting level. When you're sitting down, people can't just see in there. It's coming out pretty good. This side, I designed this side pretty cool too. When you unlatch this, the other side unlatch too, and then you rattle it. Yeah. There you go. I was like, my phone got a little bit of charge. It's why not record a little bit for anybody? You never know, somebody in the future may be interested. thing. This is too short, which I had the same problem with the one at the top. So what I did was I went in the garage. I ended up screwing this to a stud, and I grabbed the bar and put it through this one. I pulled on it really hard to where I got like enough room to, you know, get it to stretch. So I'm about to see how this one goes. Hooked it on that screw. And, put some of my weight on it. Now, pull on it. I grab the drill and put it through this hole like this. Pulled it towards me and just pull it on it until it got really, really as hard as I could pull. Stretch on it, leave some weight on it, and let it stretch out. Like, it could take my full body weight, and I'm like 250. So if you keep stretching on it and force it to stretch out, the middles will stretch out easily. It's just the top. Oh man. But yeah. Perfect.
Another banger by Regan.
Damn, Short, you going crazy.
Everything down besides the roof.
I'm just doing my final wipe downs on my cleaner and everything. If it's all look good, you know, I'm missing a screwdriver. I don't like that. I don't like that. I gotta fix it. I had to clean this table off. You know, come back and touch some of these. You got the edges on there. Sand some of that stuff down. Get this dirt off.
See, I got my night light on. I gotta get the roof. The roof gonna be here. Kind of feeling closed now. I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually really like it. Sit that like that. Oh yeah, that water soaked up quick. That's what I'm talking about, water. Soaked up around that concrete pretty fast. I gotta dig all this out now because I don't have the roof yet. So my next thing is digging. So, and I might want to paint this patio. Yeah, so moving on to the next. So I ended up putting the LED lights in. They going around. You're tapping them in with a screw. And the screw can hang down, you know, it's pretty strong. And a zip tie. And, you know, every second I get the corners with one of those. I'm about to go do these two sides on camera, show y'all how my little stuff leaving real quick. Should have had the lights face down. But anyways, you're gonna want to drill a hole right over it. Okay. So about like right here. So what I did was I took a self-tapper, put the self-tapper in, kind of like did one of these. And it drills right through, no problem. I just pull the drill bit out, put it back over here. I grab a zip tie, and I kind of like fold it about right there. And that's good enough, like about right there. Because you want it to be enough to go in, which is about as long as that screw. It's about that much, which leave. Actually, I'm gonna fold it back just a little bit more.
Fold it in. See how it's folded in there? Screw in. And I use these drywall screws for a reason. Because other ones was ripping it and breaking the zip tie. And this one did pretty good. When the drill stopped, I pull it out, turn it. I noticed I left it under. Hold on, just a second.
So, it's the LEDs at night. That's how you look. I got the white light on right now. That's how it look. Look good. Okay. Let's try and change the color. Pick a color for. That's a good color. I ain't gonna lie, I like that color. Oh yeah. Let's go with orange. Okay. Oh, wow. That looks so good. Really good. I done started working on it and forgot to record again. But look, sun at 9 plus.
Damn, Sarge, you going crazy.
Taping it up. I did a little bit of taping. I already painted it black. I ain't even done with the top. Just about to do this bottom part real quick and get this over again. Damn. That's how it look. Like a brand new grill. Even though it ain't perfect, but. I can sit it over there. Yeah, on the phone. Alright, so this is the next morning. That's how it look. It don't look too bad. It look pretty good. With this bake in the sun today, this would be real, you know. Looks so good at night. I'm also gonna buy some wood. Came up with an idea. I'm gonna make all these chairs connected. And I'm gonna put a piece of wood on top for little tables on each chair. The table over here done. I had made it and built it to where it's just kind of simple working. It's not too complicated. You know, once that roof go on, that's gonna be a little warm in here. Especially when I get the shades for the side. It'll heat up in here. All right, y'all. That's where we at with the gazebo, man. I built this front for it. The front. I had also built this little table over here. You can look at it and get an idea how it works. Just kind of lift that up. Paint kind of still wet, but I'm gonna show y'all anyway. You know, drop it down. There you go. It's out the way. Y'all seen everything else. Now the last part is just putting on the roof and we done. I had built this like doorway yesterday. That's how I look at night. It's the table up. Look good though. Let's try to zoom out a little bit. Walk towards the back. So with appearance, this is our side view. You got our one entry point, and you know I really focused on having this as an entry point because eventually I would have pavements and a pathway walking out of this way. Now also to mention, you guys don't know, I will have black river rocks out here around this thing. So when the LED lights come on, they glow through those rocks and stuff. So it'll be like very, very beautiful scenery at night. But besides that, I'm gonna give you guys a good check out of the front so you guys can see that. And then we're gonna go also on the inside on the smaller little things and details that's going on. So as you guys seen before, this is the front view of it when it's closed up and the table is closed and it's out the way. Eventually it will be bar stools here cemented in the ground, about 4 of them, for people to sit down and eat at the table. But besides that, we're gonna look at how it opens up and how easy it is, and see the process of how it works, and if it's complicated for people to do, or if somebody who can't figure it out, they'll eventually know. Now if you guys notice this little metal thing right there, a little metal rod that's going back right here, that's actually the lock for the shade. But I'm about to go and walk in there, and then I'm gonna open it up. Try to get a good view on the inside. The quirks that's in here, like the concrete, if you guys don't notice, is actually decorated along the edges, but that's just for me to know. Whatever, you guys don't have to pay attention. But now you guys get to see the quirks on the inside. We're gonna do a little walkthrough real fast. You can see I even have a light up there if you guys didn't notice at night. This is our chairs that we sit on. The roof is amazing. Now, another quirk and feature you guys will eventually see is this one. I'm gonna have to bring you guys up here real fast with me. So, in this space up here, they sell TV mounts that fold at an L bracket and fold up. So we decided we wanted a TV that will fold down, so when people are sitting here, you can unfold the TV like this and watch TV, and then also fold it back up like this, and it would be out your way. So that's another little quirky feature. But after we do a walkthrough, let's look at the grill and check that out. So if you guys remember, this grill right here was the one that was all black, and I actually painted it and redesigned it and stuff like that. Made it look, presentable and new again, because I was actually going to throw it away, and my wife believed in throwing everything away. So instead of doing that, I wanted to show her that we can repurpose things and make things new again. So this is the little quirks and features over here. I'm gonna let you guys see it. A little feature about this light, which is, I thought, pretty cool. Sorry about my camera having to move so much. I'm an amateur. So this is how this works up here. So this thing actually clicks down for when you're barbecuing. You can actually see the food from over, your head, and everything that's over here and bugs that's flying around and stuff, instead of being out here in pitch black night, can't see anything. It's ridiculous. Can't do it. But anyways, this light actually faces down, so when you're cooking and stuff. Also, this thing here is actually a waterproof, I don't know if they call those things, but like waterproof box. So I have the wiring inside of there. I also have a plug outside that people can access and plug things into, which I will show you guys in a few. Yeah, that's, and now let me. All right, so this here is my electrical box right there. And my electrical box actually runs from my garage, which is over there. It runs there underground, and it runs all the way over here. And with that being said, I have electricity. So now I tapped into the garage power for that actually. So now we get to power things like the refrigerator out here, our lights and stuff. Radio that's out here. We have other little things and stuff, and that's where that light get power from. So now let's focus on some other things, which is the table. I also painted this table, and we also decided to pick rocks out for it, me and my wife. So this table here we actually repainted. We decided to pick this color because we was painting everything else that color. So the cool part is my wife actually picked out the rocks on Amazon, and they look really, 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 really nice. We're gonna turn this thing on. All right, we got our fire going. You guys need some water. Start drinking water when you're thirsty and not juice. But anyways, fire's on. At night, it's beautiful. Wow, let me move this table. It's amazing. So, this is the back view of it, and honestly, I really believe that it is very beautiful. The way that it looks, the way that it's painted, the brown fill on the bag, it just works perfectly. And the good thing is with this stuff, you can get off Amazon. It actually is waterproof to an extent. So it's no rain that would actually rain through that material. The water has to literally sit on it, and then it rains. The water drips through, and it doesn't just pour through, it just drips a little bit. So as long as this thing flat along the surface, you sit under here and never get wet. So I'm gonna open the back for you guys and show you how that works. Push the lever, this side pops open. Let's go on the other side. And now, other side, push this, and it opens right up. No problem. It's just it flows with it. Now, another feature, if you guys are here, you obviously notice this. So let's go over to this. Okay. So next to the grill, I decided, because people would be barbecuing here. The grill table over here, it's obviously not enough space. So with that being known, I said, okay, cool. We're gonna make enough space. A foldable table. So this table actually lifts up like this. You grab this, lock it down, and the table is sitting up in the air. No problem, no foul play. You push it up, and it's sitting, no problem. Now it's the same thing, let it down. You lift this up a little bit, you pull back, and it's just folds down. Now people can walk through and things are out the way. Let me give you guys an example of something sitting on it. So let's get a good look. So the wall drill sitting on it, you know, let's say we're barbecuing, we need some extra space, you know, this here, it works perfectly. So, you know, now I can barbecue here, sit things here and transfer in between, you know, and it works for, you know, everybody. It makes everything easier, you know, it flows better. And then also, I got to show you guys something on this side. Remember that pole that we were looking at with the paper towel on it? Now when you're barbecuing and you open up the table, this pole actually comes down and block this side. So people cannot walk through on this side when you're cooking, obviously. So with that being said, that's just another quirk about this that you guys didn't know. I'm bringing to you guys' attention. Now let's look at the finer details. So this here is an inside view of what it looks like. While this thing still works as a handle in the same, you know, prospect of things, you know, you still have a table, you know, when this thing folds down, so it's still a use of a table and, you know, things that can sit up there, you know, stuff of that nature. If somebody just come by, needs more room, you know, more space, we don't have to have that lifted up, you know. And if I needed more space in here, this side can close where this table is face down, and then this table would be up. So I'm gonna show you guys how these shades work up here, and also you guys are gonna be surprised at what I even built them out of. It's crazy. But to the little of it, let's show what it looks like. All right, so I'm trying to give you guys a good idea of how these things up here work. So when these things have notch outs here, that's about the same size as this bar here that's in the front. I had built this bar, it's actually two pieces because I didn't have one long enough. But this bar is actually an old gazebo that was like torn down in my wife's garage, and it's just been sitting there, so I decided I was gonna build something out of it, and they work as the shades, which were really cool. So I didn't mention the fact that this is also a pocket for things. Like, you guys know this gazebo has LED lights around it. Something that I wouldn't want to lose is that. So I pop it right in there. But now let's show how this works. So this thing, you just push it. It takes no effort. Well, actually, you have to unlock it first. You push anything. But you take it, you push it open. It actually kind of wants to open on its own a little bit once you unlock it. But once you push it open, these latches, you hear it drop. That's one. And then this one drops. It makes the same sound on both. So now the shade is open. And if I wanted to close the other one, it's the same process. So now I'm gonna show you guys how they both look closed. So lock it in. So now both screens are closed. We enclosed in on this side at least, not that side. We closed in. You know, it actually gives like this comfortable vibe where it's like man, you feel closed in, you feel like you feel like you outside, but you get to enjoy the elements and the essence of being in something at the same time. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But with that being said, now that it's closed in, I get to show you guys the other side and how I designed that side. And that side was actually a little bit more complicated because it's bigger. So I actually had a little bit more problems figuring out how I was gonna do that side. But let's get into it, let's show you guys. So this side is actually, like I said, a little bit more complicated to design. So with this side, I actually have this handle here that, you know, flip-flop both ways. And you'll understand the purpose of that in a second. But I ordered these, what do they call these? It's not shots, but they're like pressure loaded springs. I don't know how to explain it, but it's the same thing that you would get on like a car hood or a trunk hood, you know, or something like that. But these things right here actually keep the pressure to hold this thing open. And this thing actually has a lot of pressure. Like, it takes a bit of force to hold it out. Like, it actually takes a little bit of oomph to pull it in, because both sides are pretty strong. But how I designed it is, you know, I have this bracket right here as a guide bracket. It's black, you know, bar that goes down. It helps guide the direction of the, you know, so this thing can close perfectly without interfering or, you know, moving back and forth or being out of alignment or anything. So what all you have to do is just grab, you pull it in, and it locks right in. No problem. Now, since that is locked in, when people are coming and they walk past, yeah, another day, you see this thing just kind of like moves out the way. But if it's here, you know, you walk past, it doesn't bother you, which is pretty cool. So now, another thing, besides that, we also have a table here. Now this is designed to have a table in it because I needed to reinforce the middle part of this somehow. So I decided to make another table, which is a pretty good idea. I think it worked really well and it was exactly what I was looking for. So how do you open this one? It's the same concept as the other side. No different. When the thing comes down, you have the latch, you push the little button, it opens up one side, you know, and then you push this one, and it's the same exact process, and it opens up on the side. You don't have to do anything but push the two buttons, and it does everything on its own, which is why I love this side, because I designed this so well. Like, you know, it took me a little time to figure this out. In the beginning, I actually had like this one thing sticking off with the, you know, they were actually not this color. I actually painted these. But I had one coming off initially with, you know, I was trying to figure out how I was going to do it. And initially I was going to drill through the 4x4 in order to make the shade like work. But then I noticed when it comes down, I'm going to have to show you guys. Okay, so if you notice that how this thing works, this thing, you pull the lever to close it, it comes in, and then what it does is it goes down and then it's latched in. So now this is perfectly lined up and against the frame, and it's not bothering anything. And it's the same thing on this side. We're sitting, you know, perfectly in there. It's not bothering anything. It's perfectly aligned. It's, you know, rigid. This is rigid. You know, these doesn't need to be like super strong. They're only guides. But, you know, this is rigid itself. Now, all right. So this here is actually the side view of the table. So like you get to see how this mechanism works when it closes for, you know, with this lever. So to give you an idea of how this works. Now, I also failed to mention that it's supposed to be a block here, you know, for this, so I can screw into it, but I never put one there yet, you know, because I'm still working on this, as I mentioned. I also have dowels that go here and here for this spring to sit on. They're just not in there right now because, you know, I had people over and, you know, I had to just throw it together real quick. But anyways, besides that, this thing, you grab and you pull downwards. Now, you notice how when I pulled it downwards, this side and this side latch. So now we're gonna go over to that side, show you guys how it worked. All right, so when you push this latch here, this thing, it unloosens this side. Usually I put a little pressure here and loosen it up. It unloosens one side, you let that side go. And then we're gonna go over to the other side and we're gonna show you how it opens up. All right, now the same thing takes place like it did on the other side over here, but only on this side because it's so much pressure, you're gonna have to push it down a little bit, lift it up, and then the whole table comes up as one. So now This is your big table for like bigger things. Okay, so this is your table size. So, well, anyways, now that you guys know how the table works, you know, I also have to show you how everything closes as well, because it not only works as a table, you know, process where it goes down and come up, you know, like I showed you guys previously. It's also, this front part has to make room for these when these close. So if you grab the leg here on one side, hopefully the other side falls. Yep, it did. So you grab it, this falls down. These here will go up. That holds this table in place. The same thing happens on the other side. It goes up. Now I lock that table down. So now when the shades come down, there's actually room for them to close if you want to have this enclosed. And this table works as another blocker for things not to be able to just come in this way. So let me demonstrate that. So if I lift this thing, it goes straight up. This thing comes down. So now from the front, this is what you get. You get the enclosed look, and you know this gap is not as big as it appears on camera. When you looking at it from the front, you can't. You know, it's just optical illusion. It looks bigger. You know, I don't know how to explain it, but whatever. But anyways, now you see the table works and it folds down as well, and these shades fold down. So besides that, let's show you guys how to.
Not feeling, you're really not a fan
Outside
of, you can't see
cooking,
yourself
boy.
dating this woman. Go ahead and pop your balloon,
That's
and I'll
the
go over to
TV.
you and see why you ended up calling. You guys
Why the
ready?
fireworks go off? Perfect timing.
Already, that's good. So with
It's
that
the
being said,
backyard.
let's go
Can't see
ahead
that
and
back
get
there.
our first single lady.
It's closed in tonight.
Hello, welcome in. What's your name?
Alright, we now in the fall, but it's some new stuff that I didn't show before that I had finished and put on. You feel me? It's kind of cold outside, and really I'm about to take this stuff down, the electronics and stuff for the winter time. That's what it's about to be. But yeah, here goes. Let me turn this down.
City rolling. But did I mention this my own club? What the fuck you mean, man?
So I actually got a remote to this too, but yeah, this is the TV I talked about in the video where I said I was going to install a video, you know, a TV that, you know, so we could be outside watching TV, obviously. And yeah, this is the TV. It's the speaker. It's kind of like a surround sound because it's inside this little box area. And yeah, you know, it also folds up. That's another feature that I had customized this, you know, this what do you call these TV wall mounts? You can see I cut it, but I ain't never like cleaned it up and, you know, painted it and everything. But anyways, yeah, you know, I didn't put the locks on to latch the TV up there yet, but because it's about to be the winter, I kind of don't even care about it right now. But yeah, this is the TV setup. This thing fell down. It used to be on that sticky pad, but because it's cold outside, it fell. And that's the bug zapper. We was tearing bugs up this summer. But yeah, it's about to be the fall, man. So it's time to take this stuff down.